Cameron Buford here. We're at Susan De Laurentiis Oscar party, and one of the nominees here, or one of the honorees here, is Mr. Aaron. Pronounce your last name. I don't want to butcher it.
No problem, Cameron. The last name is Vanook. Aaron Vanook.
Oh, that's easy enough. I should have at least tried it.
It's short, but it can be complicated. Yeah.
Well, Aaron, you're not the typical filmmaker.
No.
You're not the typical filmmaker. Talk to me about what's got you into film or wanted to be a filmmaker.
Sure, Cameron. Yeah. So there was when I have a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, and so I went blind when I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
So I was actually, when you said you were into sports, I was actually a pitcher. I had a tryout for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, wow.
And so it was on the mound when I wasn't able to see the catcher's signals anymore. And so I knew something was wrong. I actually thought the catcher was having fun with me, but when he came out to the mound, I realized that he actually wasn't joking. I wasn't able to see his signs. That's when I was, within a day, I went through a whole range of testing and found that I had retinitis pigmentosa.
I got Jamon around talking to me about his foundation. Repeat that for the folks.
Man, so I started the Jamon Brown Foundation, which our mission is to impact the lives of those who struggle with violence, poverty, and youth and undergo homelessness.
That's fantastic, man. How are you doing that? How?
Really just with partnerships. Okay. One thing I was brought up on teams.
Okay.
I mean, I was brought up with a group is how you get things done.
This is Cameron Buford, voice of the fans, LA News Observer. I'm surprised. It's 2-1 now, Toronto. We got Game 4 coming back on Friday, 2 days from tonight. Will we see Clay? Will we see Kevin Durant? Who knows? I know the length of Toronto is a big advantage. Siakam, Ibaka, Marc Gasol, big advantage for those guys. What's going to happen come Game 4 is very intriguing. Can the Warriors now, the pressure is on the Warriors, can they respond accordingly? We'll see what happens. Follow us. What's Good in Sports? Cameron Buford, voice of the fans on Twitter. Holler at us. Keep in touch. Keep following us, you guys. Hey fans, Cameron Buford here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Voice of the fans, H&B Media. Just want to wrap up the Los Angeles Chargers versus Miami Dolphins game today. Chargers came into this game 2-6. Miami Dolphins were 5-3. Miami Dolphins ended up winning this game fairly convincingly, 29-21. They won it on special teams effort. They had a block punt. They had an interception. They ran the ball pretty well, and then Tua had 2 touchdown passes. So it was a pretty good game that they played all the way around. And the Chargers, Herbert had a good game statistically, not his best game, but he still had 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 running. So he set a record with that, but this is statistically was probably his worst game that he played thus far in the season. The Chargers have a lot of questions to answer. They still do. Jim Brown, I got the legendary Jim Brown. How you doing, big dog?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm wonderful, man. Thank you for all the work that you've done over the years for our community. We really appreciate that. Not myself, but we really appreciate that. About football, what do you think about this new helmet rule and how it's going to impact the game?
What is the new rule?
If the guys lower their head, they're supposed to be getting called off out. You ever heard that?
I've been listening, but it's very confusing to me.
Light heavyweight and heavyweight championship, correct.
I got to get you with the left.
That's all good. That's all good. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Tell me, you shared it you're a man who wears emotion on the sleeve.
Yes.
So you shared it what that meant to you in the ring.
Yes, I did.
Tell me right now, a little bit, weeks later, what it means to you today.
So, I mean, you got to, my story is the story of building yourself back up.
Okay, Earl
Smith. What's your name?
My name
Cameron.
Yeah. Los Angeles News Observer. Big fan of yours.
If you got a couple, go ahead.
Got some real questions, some basic general questions about identifying talent. And then how you as a coach kind of get the best out of talent. What's some of your
That's a big question. I don't know. Those take too long to answer. Those are tough questions. Those are tough. I can't do a dissertation here.
Okay.
But
I talked to you at the first one.
Yeah.
Talked to you about getting in the ring.
Yeah.
Any itch now? You talk about you feeling the emotion.
It's okay. I train with a lot of the guys, right?
Okay.
I mean, 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
Shout out Team Body Shop down there, train with those guys.
Okay.
And they're young, hungry animals, and that's all they do.
Make sure you guys also help me out. These positive stories, if you hear athletes giving back to their community, how they ingratiate themselves in the community, share that with me. Info at What's Good in Sports, because I like to just distribute those stories and make what'sgoodinsports.com be the go-to area for these positive stories. Again, share those stories with me. Info at What's Good in Sports. My name is Cam Buford. I look forward to receiving these stories again so I can share it out, because far too often I believe these positive stories of athletes and what they're doing in their communities go unrecognized, ignored, and unheard of. I like to change that. Hopefully you want to be a part of that and help me change that too. Thank you for your time. Once again, Cameron Buford, info at What's Good in Sports. You can find my podcast, Voice of the Fans podcast, I record it every week for you. Or you can find me here on LinkedIn, Cam Buford. Hit me on Twitter, What's Good in Sport, the letter N, sports not plural, Voice of Fans on Instagram. And then check out my podcast. Subscribe to my podcast as well. Subscribe to my YouTube page as well. Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Every week we have fresh content for you. We have interviews for you that I'm conducting with athletes. And then I'm trying to just uncover these positive stories. So I appreciate your help in advance. And then as always, thank you for making our voice your choice. We appreciate
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford right here. I just want to say thank you for making our voice your choice.